right, welcome back. Episode 6, I think. Episode 6
Sure. Yeah.
of
6.
Your Relationship Sucks. No, this is a show where we answer the topic of the day. Somebody's having some problems out in the world with their relationships. We come in with our expertise. We answer these. I haven't seen this question. I don't know what's coming at me. I have no idea, but I hear it's a good one. So we'll see if it is. But what do you think? You think today's is going to be better? It's going to be worse than what we've done. You think we're increasing in our quality? Think our quality is just going up every time?
Yeah, I do. It's like this.
It's a steady climb. It's exponential. It's going to be exponential. All right,
Exponential growth.
Look, that's positive. That's positive. I don't actually know how we can get much better than what we've been doing, but I guess we'll find out.
I mean, my philosophy on it has been just pick things from all across the board. Some of them are more serious, some of them are more playful, emotional problems, sexual problems. That way, like, something's got to work. I mean, I'm just like throwing it all at you.
In theory, either that or we're just two people talking.
No, not in theory. I've learned from watching the show myself that you cannot limit yourself by your mindset. Your mindset is what determines where you're going. And if you think like that, you will never. That is we want a growth mindset, not a static mindset. So, 100%. And I learned that from you. Saved me a couple $100 in therapy, apparently. So you're like, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I was gonna say you're welcome. But you've made it very clear I have not contributed very much to your personal growth, so I can't say you're welcome.
I mean, I can't, I don't need to grow. That's the thing. I'm
God. I need to keep a tally of all the things you say that contribute to why you're single.
I mean,
I need my own whiteboard just for that.
Anybody who watches this and thinks hey, you know what? I don't want to be with this guy. You're wrong. I don't know what to tell you. You're just that's probably why you're watching this show. That's probably why you're watching this show. Is because you're looking at it and you're like, no, this guy's not making a lot of sense. Guarantee everybody in relationships are looking at this and like, you know what? This guy's making a lot of good points. A lot of really good points. This is somebody who should get snatched up immediately.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm telling you. We do a straw poll with the audience. Single people, non-single people. I'm just telling you. I'm telling you what's going to happen. So.
Okay.
All right. So what do we got?
Are you ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready. What's our topic today?
Okay. It is help. My boy toy has turned into more than I expected.
Been there. Okay.
I have been dating a man 11 years my junior for about a year now. Mm-hmm. I didn't expect it to last this long, and I didn't intend for us to be at a place where he is talking about marriage, especially not this soon. Prior to us dating, I lost my mom and went through a divorce. We started dating 5 months later. My ex did a lot of crap, and my boyfriend didn't run away, and he was there to hold me every time I had a mom meltdown. We have different political and religious views. The past few months have been challenging. We've had heated discussions about politics. What's difficult is that when we're together, we have a great time. We travel well together. I went back home with him to meet his family. I really like his parents and got along great with them, as did my daughter. But my daughter doesn't like him. I'm torn. I really care about him, but I'm not sure if our love and age difference will stand the test of time. What should I do?
Does it say how old this lady is?
It does not say how old she is, but the guy is 11 years younger than her.
Yeah, I mean that's a big difference, right? I mean, if she's like a mom,
she could be 31 and he could be 20.
Yeah. I mean that's a totally different that's a totally different thing than if she's 40 or something like that. She's in her early 40s, late 30s, something like that. that's a totally different thing, right? Because like dudes
Why would
are,
it be different?
well, because dudes are, uh, I mean, they're indescribably immature at the, you know, late teens, early 20s. Like it's ludicrous the things that you do, the things you think about, all that stuff. Like it's not. I would tell you, I'd tell you to run away. I just would. I'd tell you to run away. I'd tell you it's not worth it. Like all these things. You know, first of all, like she's like, my, you know, my boy toy kind of fell into this, you know, whatever. That happened a long time ago. I don't know what to tell you. Like, you know, it didn't sound like she was saying, you know, hey, this just happened or whatever. But like, I'm just telling you, that ship sailed a long time ago. Like, she took her
Yeah, I'd
daughter to
say
meet this
like
guy's family. That's boyfriend stuff. Like, that's relationship stuff.
yeah.
I mean, this hasn't been, unless she's the world's worst mom. Like, this has not been a boy toy situation for a long time.
I would
Um,
also say like even taking out the daughter, if he's helping her through like emotional stuff with the ex, that's also not really boy toy territory.
no,
You
no,
know what I
that's a
mean?
good point. That's
Like,
a
I
good
mean,
point, actually.
that's like not what
Good point.
and it sounds like she has not necessarily made it clear to him that in the back of her mind, the age difference is a problem and like going forward is a problem. Like in her mind, I think even though she let him help her through hard stuff, she likes his family, she's checking all these boxes to get to marriage. And they've been together for a year, which I wouldn't necessarily say that's definitely a lot of time, but like a year of being together is not uncommon to then be talk about getting married. Like that's
Mhm.
not uncommon in the span of dating. People
Mhm.
do that all the time. So like her being like, it's weird that he's thinking about it a year in. And I'm like, that's another thing. Like it doesn't sound like she's met him and been very upfront about the expectation level. You know, like he doesn't like if I, you know, he doesn't seem like the way he's acting is at a 20-year-old level. Like, you know, the average 20-year-old male level, you know, he's like sounds like he's like in his 30s or like late
Mhm.
20s minimum, just the way he's acting. Like he doesn't seem flaky. He seems to be consistent. Her daughter doesn't like him. I don't know why she didn't go into that. That it was kind of thrown at the end, which also like I didn't understand if like everything's great, like maybe the political thing um is getting to it. I'm not someone who believes people of the same political ideals necessarily have to be together. That's become a whole different thing recently, and we don't really need to get into that part of it. But, you know, that's the part where it sounds like she needs to have a much more upfront conversation about like what her expectations are, because in all honesty, like it sounds like he's the one that's going to get hurt in this situation more.
Yeah, she it's also, I also have to know how old the daughter is. Like, you know, look, if your kid doesn't like somebody, tough. I don't know what to tell you. Like, don't let your kid run your life. You know what I mean? Like, I personally think that people make that mistake. You know, that's a topic for a different, you know, for a different show. But that's, you can't let them run your life, right? You can take into consideration. You can do this. You can do that. Whatever. They're a kid. They don't even know what they like, right? So stop. Like, if it makes you happy, it makes you happy. I don't know what to tell you, right? But I also need to know how old she is, right? If the daughter is like 15, that's one thing, right? If the daughter's like 4, that's a whole different thing, right? Because now there might actually be some reason behind why she doesn't like him or whatever. Even though she said she liked the family, but she doesn't like the guy or whatever. They get along with the family, or but they don't like. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, the daughter, both her and her daughter like the family. She doesn't really like him. So not what she didn't go into that, which is just kind of thrown at you at the end, which you know, that's the part where I'm like, okay, you're throwing that in and then you're asking for advice, but you got to give more. If that's part of the problem, you need to like give people more.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. And you know what? Honestly, you're absolutely right. Like, first of all, the first
Wait, can you
person.
repeat that?
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. The first person
Absolutely right, I think is the direct quote.
the first person to bring up marriage in a relationship is into it more. Just how it works. Like, just at the end of the day, that's how human beings work, right? So this dude is obviously more into her. I'm not even getting the sense that this woman wants to be married again. I'm not saying she should, right? She's been divorced for about a year and a half now, it sounds like, right? And I'm not even sure she wants to get remarried, right?
Yeah, I
So
was getting that vibe too. I was surprised that that wasn't like part of the ending paragraph, to be honest. That's what I was expecting it to go there.
yeah, absolutely. And so I think you're right when it comes to that she needs to set expectations, right? She should have had this conversation a long time ago. The second this guy brought this up, she should have had a conversation about like, hey, I'm into this, or hey, I'm not really into this, or hey, maybe in the future, I don't know, but like, I don't really want to talk about this with you, whatever. She should have had this conversation with him because it is not a good idea to continue to let somebody who is starting to have those feelings for you continue to hang out with you if you're just not into that. That's not a good thing. That makes you a bad person, right? I'm not saying that's what she's doing. I'm saying if she is not into the idea of marriage, but she's not communicating that with him, that makes her a bad person, right? If she's saying like, hey, maybe I'll get married or whatever, like, all right, that's fine, right? But she needs to figure that out first. She needs to figure out like, do I want to get married? Do I not want to get married? Because that's a big deal. That's a big deal for this guy. It's a big deal for him to bring this up, right? So that's so there's something to that. First of all. Secondly, don't let your kid run your life, right? If you like this guy, if you want to get married to this guy, get married to this guy. Your kid will figure it out. Like your kid is your kid. Unless he's doing something that's like being abusive to her or something like that, your kid's gonna figure it out.
Like if there's a reason, then you got to ask your kid.
It's a kid. Kids are stupid. Okay, kids are dumb. Okay, again, if this guy's 21, he's also probably stupid. I tell you, he's not here for the long term. Just don't worry about it. It's pretty simple, right? But your kid is stupid because all kids are stupid, right? So I don't really care if your kid doesn't like them. They'll figure it out. Kids don't like Brussels sprouts either, and whatever, they still live. You know what I mean? So it's like it's not a big deal, right? But the big
And I mean,
takeaway from this
honestly,
whole
if
thing,
it's only been like a year and a half since her divorce, her kid probably isn't gonna like anyone.
no, absolutely not.
Like she probably is not, like, even if it's a toddler, that kid is not over the fact that like this is not her dad. Like that's just a reality.
Absolutely.
Even if she's 15, it's the same. It's easier to like his family than it is to like him because it's not him.
Right. And I think she already has her answer, right? Which is she started dating this guy 5 months after divorce. Now, look, I'm not saying that can't happen. I'm not saying like, whatever, you can't find your true love or whatever, whatever it is. I'm not saying that can't happen. What I'm saying is the odds that the first person that you find after your divorce is going to be your next marriage, not super high. They're just not. Like it's not how life works. There's too many people in the world that don't like you. That it's like it's almost statistically impossible that that's going to happen. Right?
There's too many
and
people
so basically, this is sort of like it's not exactly, but it's basically Stockholm syndrome, right? Like this is basically Stockholm syndrome. Like she was, I don't know what her ex did, but like he did something which it sounded like it was happening afterwards, right? So he was doing it months after their divorce, right? Which happens. I mean, whatever. Like some people are dicks.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it takes like years to figure out divorce shit sometimes.
Yeah, but it's fine.
It's just normal.
But he's doing this stuff, and you start dating this guy, and this guy's helping you, and you used him as a crutch, and now you feel bad because you don't want to dump him because he was there to help you at the start. You know what? Let him go, because if you don't want to be with him, it's gonna just hurt him more when you're like, hey, by the way, remember all that time you put in and whatever, and like we went and we did the thing, whatever, you're done. Right? Like that's going to hurt even more tomorrow than it does today. So I think she knows what she needs to do. Right? I can't even believe that she actually asked this question. Like, hey, what should I do? Like, here's the deal. Like, whatever. You already know. Basically, you feel bad. You don't want to be the bad guy for dumping this dude after he's helped you. Right? At the end of the day, that's what this is about. Right? She doesn't want to be a bad guy because she's going to dump him after he was there for her to support during whatever. But look, he's already going to get hurt because he already brought up the idea of marriage first. So just cut the cord. Don't worry about your kid. Like, don't justify it with your kid. Don't tell him anything about that. So, hey, look, I'm not into it. Like, we're not on the same page. I don't know what to tell you. But she already knows the story. She already knows the story, and basically she's just feeling bad. And what she wants is for somebody to tell her, "Hey, you're not a bad person." And she's kind of a bad person right now. She's not like a bad person, but like she's kind of, because she already knows. She already knows the answer.
Yeah.
But the longer
she's a bad person because she's probably known this for like 6 months and she doesn't want to be alone.
Exactly. But the longer it goes,
and she's still
she's going to
calling
become a
someone
bad person.
she's been with for a year a boy toy, which I think is just offensive. If you like, if this person who he is essentially functioning more as like a partner than in a lot of ways,
exactly
he's helping her through shit. Like that's not a boy toy. The other thing is it seems to me that she's using their age difference as a reason for like why it wouldn't work out, but nothing in her actual like explanation was like age related. That was literally just like, it was unnecessary information to the situation. And it seems like part of what's happening is the age difference is like, oh, I'm going to take this guy's youth or whatever. And I'm like, no, you're going to take it because you don't know if you want to be with him. So you're stringing him along. And, like, yes, the political thing, not getting along about other stuff, like that seems like, okay, you need to have a conversation about that and figure that shit out. But that doesn't seem like, I mean, she's asking, is our, love going to stand the test of time? Like, no one really fucking knows that. So, like, you're not going to get an answer to that. Like, it doesn't really matter, like, what kind of relationship you're in. You don't know what's going to happen. Like, there are traumatic things that happen. Like, who knows? But the thing that seems like she does know is she doesn't want to test that with this dude.
Yeah, I agree with you. This lady is more immature than her younger boyfriend. I agree with you 100%. She is more emotionally immature. She is, you know what? Honestly, now I think she's a bad person. Like, you convinced me. I think she's a bad person. I've done a 180. I was trying to give her credit. I was trying to be a nice guy.
This episode is like
she's a bad person. I don't know what to tell you. She's a bad human being. She's emotionally immature. She's emotionally manipulative, as you said. She's trying to emotionally manipulate everybody.
You sound more like you. You've been very rational this whole episode.
Look, I'm telling you. You just convinced me. She's trying to emotionally manipulate people, bringing up politics, bringing up third rail stuff, right? My family doesn't like her. We got different politics. This is all third rail stuff, right? And she's trying to bring that up to justify, so that people are like, hey, and also she's an older woman dating a younger man. That's a taboo in some places, right? So she's bringing up all these third rails so that some people will just be like, hey, you know what? Cut ties. Like, it's not your fault. Whatever. Life sucks. There's
a lot of stacked up against you. Blah blah blah.
I totally agree. She's trying to be emotionally manipulative. The way that she emotionally manipulated this guy right after her divorce to use him because she didn't want to be alone while her ex-husband was doing whatever he was doing, right? She's a bad person. I've come around. You've convinced me. This woman should dump this guy because he deserves better. And hopefully she figures out her stuff before she destroys another life with whoever it is, whoever the unfortunate soul is that comes after. I agree with you on all of that. Yes. 100%.
I think this is my favorite episode so far. I've gotten a lot of, I'm 100% right. I'm absolutely right. You agree with me.
Yeah, no.
Going down in the history books. I mean, no, but
look, when you call it like you see it, sometimes you're right, and I agree with you. This woman might be the worst woman in the world. I agree with you.
I don't know if I said that, but
I'm
not gonna not agree.
Like, you implied it, so yeah. I mean, like, I'm giving you credit.
Yeah, that is what you heard. You're right.
And you're always asking for more credit. I'm giving you credit. Yeah, she sucks, and you called it. I agree with you. Yeah. She deserves to rot in hell. I totally agree with you.
So we both think she sucks. One of us thinks she should rot in hell, and I want to know.
Yeah, and the other one.
If other people disagree with us.
And the other one agrees with her. Yes, that's correct. The other one agrees with her thinking that this woman should rot in hell. I agree. Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
All right. So people can let us know if you're right or if you're really right. Either way, there's no other answer. But people can do that, and if you did like this, or whatever, or even if you watched it, even if you didn't like it, I don't really care. Whatever it is that people do that gets people money on this thing, do that so that I don't have to work anymore, and I can just do this. That would be a real positive. And if you have questions that you want us to answer, you want us to debate, you want us to break down for you, you know, probably because you're not very good at relationships, you can leave those in the comments. Maybe somebody will read them. I'm not sure. I'm not going to, but maybe somebody else will. I honestly don't know.
It just sounds like you volunteered me for a job.
Well, I mean, maybe we'll read it, maybe we won't. I have no idea. I guess we'll find out. You know, if somebody leaves one, maybe we'll go with it. I have no clue. I don't know. I tell them to email us, but I don't even know if we have an email. So, you know, whatever.
We do have an email. It's info.yourrelationshipsucks@gmail.com. You can email it there because, as we've all just found out, I do monitor
Okay,
things.
well, let's see. There you go. Look. So anybody who wants to get questions answered,
You need an email to create a YouTube account. Like, that is like a logical progression there.
This is too much for me. What I know is that this lady sucks. That's where my job ends. My job is over.
Putting this in the tally of why you're single. It's going up there.
I don't need any of those other things. I just know that this lady is the worst person on earth. So you know, that's totally fine. So yeah, you can send it to the email. Maybe you'll read it as well. I don't know. If it's interesting, maybe we'll do it. I have no idea. But, you know, I guess I'll find out next time. You'll find out sooner than me. I'll find out next time.
I'll find out immediately. You'll find out when you find out.
Yeah. It'll be a surprise for all of us. It'll be fun. It'll be a fun, it'll be a fun surprise for everybody. So, all right. So we will see everybody next time.